So the text starts with a certain example or a certain story that talks about a father that is talking with his son or daughter. I don't really remember, um, and he's explaining him why some products are more expensive than the others. For example, it gives the example of a car or a convertible car. Why the convertible cars are more expensive than the normal cars? Well, later on, the text mentions that prices are set by the seller. Even though the seller can set the price, it doesn't mean that the product is going to be bought. It also gives example of a house. Like for example, you have a certain house and you want to sell it in an hypothetical case of $500. Uh, The house is looked by a consumer that loves your house, like loves your kitchen, loves your living room, loves all the things that is in the house. But if the consumer finds another house, I don't know, by $300, uh, they're going to prefer the other house. This is due to the competition that this good or service has. When a product has more competition, they are more likely to be more elastic. This is a term used in microeconomy to see uh, how the demand is going to change according to the prices, to a change of the prices. Uh, so yeah, so for example, uh, in this case of the houses, there's a term that it is called comparables. Uh, the comparables is a term used in order to mention how prices are being set by the help of other houses. Like for example, Uh, prices, even though can be set by the seller, they are mainly set, but according to the demand that a certain product is having. Like for example, if too many people want to demand a certain good, uh, the price is going to be higher. But if the people, uh, well, the sellers, want to sell more and more and more and more and more, so the price is going to get low. We can see it here. Well, we can see it easier in the supply and demand graph. Uh, these supply and demand principles help us to understand how the markets work because all the markets have competition. So even though we have certain information about the markets or how prices can go up and can go down, uh, there's no perfect competition in real life. So that's why most of the times people or businesses or companies make suppositions. They make calculated suppositions in order to see how the price is going to get up or how the price is going to get down. This is due to the lack of information many people have or many businesses have. Uh, that's one of the main purposes of economy. Uh, they using the information they have in order to see how do they act in a certain period of time because price is always changing. We cannot set like a pinpoint in order to say that uh, price is going to be the same always. We can give the example of the dollar actually. For example, the dollar in this case in Mexico has a very variable price, like every day or every 2 days. Like for example, one day can be at 20 pesos, the other day can be at 22 pesos, the other day can be at 24 pesos. That's why we can say the prices are not being set or not stable in a certain period of time or yeah. So the prices are fixed This means, like, for example, most of the times, and you can see it in the graphs of supply and demand, you can see, like, for example, the equilibrium is where the supply and demand line intersect with each other. This intersection doesn't mean always that the prices or that the point is going to be the optimal for a certain economy. This means more that, for example, uh, a seller is going to sell more, so the prices are going to be lower, or a certain or like for example the demand goes down, so the prices are going to be higher. Uh, these changes in the graphs doesn't mean that are going to be the optimal for a certain economy. The optimal in economy is that uh, all sellers and all buyers can sell or buy a certain product at a certain price that all the economy can buy. But that's why we say that the equilibrium doesn't mean it's the optimal. So I think that the supply and demand principles or the prices are a very important factor in the economy, and it is an easy way to sell and buy things, because without the money or without the prices, people will sell or will buy the products at the price they will want to, and most of the times they will be paying less for a certain good or service. So the prices are a good average of how a certain product is going to be sold or is going to be bought. So so people can use it as a point of reference, so they can like buy it in a very easy way, or not in a very easy way, but in a safe way, so they can see they are not like robbing them.